Hi, welcome to this video on our free in the hoop scissor case. This is a final freebie for the year, so I was hoping to get something that would be practical, pretty, and any size hoop can use. So what started off as just a free in the hoop scissor case. I did it in a 4x4 size and realised it's a gorgeous little USB holder. And I also realised that if you fold the flap down, you can make a lovely little bag. So you get all the details in the instructions, but you can just choose whether to make a sewing holder that hangs on the wall or around your neck, or you can make a nice little bag that you could even put a wee sewing kit in. Just a pretty little design that I hope you will find practical. So there's the front and back of the design. So it's quilted both sides. You've got an optional pocket with the quilting and the scissors on there. There's the bag, so you're just basically folding the flap down, but it does make a very cute little bag, and that's actually what I'm showing in the video is the bag. The USB holder is made exactly the same steps, so it's included in the instructions. With the USB holder, we've just got a plain front, so it's all made in one hooping. Now you can do that with the scissor holder as well if you prefer to just have your favourite fabric. It's actually just a folded piece of fabric, so you can do that in one hooping, which is really fast. Or if you do want the embroidered pocket, you need to make that first. And as I say, the design set includes what's shown there, the quilted front with a pair of scissors on it, or you can add any design you like on there. Now, this video shows the techniques that we use, so all the actual detail is included in the step-by-step instructions that are included when you download the file. So, as I say, this shows you how to actually make it, all the details actually in the instruction. So what do you need to make the holder? It's pretty simple, really. You need a front and a back. And obviously how you place your front and back fabric will depend on the use. If you're making the bag, you might want to have the flap folds back down, so you want to have pretty fabric on the back. You need obviously your thread plus matching bobbin thread, your optional tassels and ribbons, and then just a piece of fabric for the pocket, which is just folded in half to give you a nice folded edge. We then need 2 pieces of batting. And this is optional. If your machine doesn't like bulk, then you might just want to put the 1 piece of batting in there. Okay, so we're going to start this video with the pocket first. You can just use a plain piece of fabric, but if you do want to have a lovely embroidered front, then you need to stitch that first. Now, I just want to talk about hooping for these in the hoop projects. As we show there, we use 2 layers of stabiliser and we use the pinning method, and this is just to stop any movement in the hoop. For the pocket, you can use a cutaway stabiliser or a tearaway. It's not going to make any difference. For the actual scissor case, we actually need to use a washaway. Right, let's get started. So you hoop your stabiliser, and the first thing you do is just stitch the outline of the pocket onto your stabiliser. Then we're adding our piece of batting, and again, this is optional. If your machine doesn't like bulk, you could just omit the step, just to take some bulk out of the seams. But there you go, I've got using fusible fleece. Now we're just going to cut away the excess batting from the edges of that pocket front, changing my scissors. Now on that, the 2 main types of scissors I use are the dressmaker's scissors shown there, or I do have some duckbill scissors from Echidna that I use a lot, and they're my favourite. What I would suggest is just your sharper scissors, because the better you get the trimming away, the better your design will be. So there you go, we've removed the excess stabiliser. So now this is where you get your pocket. Now I've got the centre line pressed in, but you don't need to do this. It's basically just a mark so that you do get the top of your pocket sort of halfway down your folded piece of fabric. So it doesn't have to be super accurate at this point, just as long as you have enough to fold back. So we're back at the machine and we're just going to stitch down basically that same line, and that's just going to attach the pocket piece. Now in the design file, I've included the next colours are the quilting, and there is the decorative stitch at the top, which is your fold line of your pocket, and the scissor design. Now you can choose to use them or skip them. Once you've got that outline down, you can add your own embroidery design. It is completely up to you. So there's that decorative stitch stitched out. Now for this one, I didn't stitch the scissor design. I just left it like that. But you can see that's the scissor design that is included. Now that's your pocket embroidered, so super quick. What I'm showing here is just going to cut away the excess stabiliser from just around that pocket. Again, it's just all about reducing bulk for your machine. So then we're just going to fold itself back over on itself, and you just need to make sure you press. Your iron is your friend. Now the next step is going to be the actual, what we call the back of the scissor holder, but if you're doing the USB holder or you're just going to have a plain pocket, you start here. So as I mentioned before, for the actual scissor holder, you do need to do 2 layers of wash away stabiliser. This is because we want to remove all traces of it at the end, and that's the best stabiliser to use for these in the hoop projects. So we're going to do pretty much the same as we did before. So we're going to stitch the outline onto the stabiliser, and you can see there it stitches 2 little guidelines on the side. That's for your pocket placement, but also for this next step. So you need to decide where you want to add your hanging tabs. So for my original one, I've just put the tassel at the bottom, and I've just put a piece of lace at the top. Now, this video is showing the bag, so I wanted to have the tassel hanging down when you fold it back down. So I've put the tassel there, and I'm just going to add the straps just along the guidelines. So you need to have an idea of how you want to use the design before you add your tabs. It's all in the instructions. I'm having fun with that tassel today. As I say, for this one, for the bag, I just wanted the tassel coming back down over the closing flap. I'm also I show how I put the straps in, and so I'm just using the guidelines that's for the pocket, or we're just going to put the straps just slightly above that. Now I love this corded rope that I use for handles, but it does fray a lot, so that's why it looks like I've got a huge amount of ribbon there, but it's just because I'm going to cut the edges off because it's so frayed at the edges. And don't worry, this is all in the instructions. If you're a bit confused as to where to put your hanging tabs, just have a read of the instructions. Right, the next step on either version is to place your batting over the top of the hoop and then just tape that down, and that's just going to secure your tassels, hanging tabs, straps, all in place. Magic of video, it's already done, so it just does that outline again. Now then, we're just as we did before, we're going to take the hoop away from the machine and we're going to cut away the excess batting without cutting the tassels or the straps. Right, so now what we need to do is put our backing fabric on the back of the hoop. You can see there, we've got the right side is facing out towards you. Now, because I'm making the bag, just remember what you put on the back here is going to fold back over onto the front of the design. So there you go, I've got the backing fabric on. Same thing again, you're going to put the front piece of fabric on with the right side facing up. Now you can tape it in place, or I'll just show you what I do. I don't tape it yet because I can see that, so you can see through the stabilizer, and just make sure that your backing fabric is flat and it's not, caught up underneath. And then what I do is I do place my front fabric on at that point, making sure you've got the right side facing up. So there we go, and then it's just a matter, once again, it's going to stitch round just to attach that. Oh, I should mention, you need matching bobbin thread because the quilting, which is the next step, is going to show on the back. So if you didn't have bobbin thread to match, you might just want to skip this whole quilting section. Personal preference. So there we go, the machine's going to go off and do that lovely little quilting pattern. Okay, so the next step is to add your pocket. So we've got the straps there as guides, but there is a guideline stitched on the stabilizer, and that's just to show you where to place your pocket. Now, if you had plain material, you could just place it pretty much anywhere you like. With the embroidered one, I've just made the design slightly bigger, so you've got a little bit of wriggle room, but you're really trying to match up the guideline with that top edge, and obviously just make sure it's fairly similar around the bottom there. So I made it slightly bigger just to account for any pull when we've put the quilting fabric on there. But as you can see, we're just going to tape that in place, matching those guidelines. Just make sure we got it right and that it looks right. And it's going to go back to the machine and it's just going to do that round. Now I just want to show you one of my hacks. Changing the bobbin thread at this point, it gives me a contrast colour. I mean, it's the colour I'm going to use anyway, but it just means that this final round you can see the cutting edge. Now I'm just showing there you can use a purple thing, which I've just got from Echidna, or if you're at all worried about your foot getting caught in the pocket, you can just do this. This is the actual plastic solvay that you use for towels. You can just place that over the entire hoop and then do your round, and you don't have to worry at all about any, the foot getting caught in that pocket edge. So that's a really good hack. So that together with my contrast colour and my purple thing, it just makes life a little bit easier. So as you can see, it's going to stitch around twice, so it's going to give you a nice cutting edge. And as I say, the different colour really makes it, especially with black, you can see how much easier it's going to be for me to cut away that backing fabric because I can actually see. So there we go. Now I've got using my duckbill scissors from Echidna. They're my favourite. That and my dressmaking scissors are probably the ones I use the most, but and really the sharpest scissors you can. The better you trim back at the sides at this point, the better the finished product. Now, as you can see there, I'm going to cut through all of the layers, including the solvay, because it's going to stay in place now anyway. And there we go. We're just trimming away all of the fabric and the pellin, everything. You're getting as close as you can to that edge without cutting your tassels. Also, one of my other hacks is to cut the back first. I think sometimes you can do the front and forget the back. Anyway, we're back to our machine and this is the final stitch. So you've got your matching bobbin thread in there and basically the design's just going to stitch around a zigzag, and then it's going to do the satin stitch and the decorative stitch, and that's it done. So these are really fast to make. So there we go, we remove it from the hoop and we're just going to cut away all that excess stabilizer. And you can cut as close as you can to those edges. You can see I've got a few threads here that I need to cut away. And So this is why we use the wash away stabilizer, because you get as close as you can to the edge and then you can just wash away that excess stabilizer. You could use, cutaway you couldn't get close enough. A tear away may work. It is up to you. I do recommend the wash away if you can, because it does give the best results. Now we've just got the added step because we'd put that layer of solvay over the top. We're just going to remove that. And there you go. Look at that, it's done. Fold it down, there's your little bag. Or if you're having it as a hanger on the wall, there you go. There's your scissors in there. Now we do need to remove that stabilizer, so there you go. Just using hot water and just doing those edges. So that's it. Beautifully quilted. As I say, you can use your favourite fabric. Make that into a cute little bag as it is. You can put a button on there as a closure, or a cam snap. Or, as I say, like the other sample there, that's just ready to hang on the wall, and put your scissors in. My purple thing, all ready to go. So there you can see them without these scissors, and then you can see what you can actually fit in there. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you're new to these style of designs, I hope you learnt something. Please be sure to join the Facebook group, and you can share the photos of what you've made. There's also a huge bunch of people that are so helpful and can help you with any queries. So thanks for watching. Bye.